I heard yesterday after I did that podcast with Adam Sosnick that Andrew and Tristan got another 30 days to the end of February, and they still haven't charged them with anything. Do you have any updates from within Romania, Dragos?
There's something happening in the background in the sense that usually when they extend the arrest, they probably have more evidence or they're in the process of creating it,
Creating it.
making
Okay,
the,
that's a key word.
yeah. Um, a lot of the people or some of the people that were presented as victims have come out to support Andrew. They have explained how their testimony was not taken into account, like the prosecutor just threw the paper away when it wasn't incriminating against Tate.
It seems like there's some Western media behind this, because I was watching a translated Romanian broadcast, and
Yeah,
the gal was on clearly a Romanian air TV show, but the ticker banner on the bottom was CNN,
yeah.
right? And the translation wasn't favorable, but it's just
It's
it's ongoing, man.
like the media is so biased. The mainstream media is so biased against him, and
Mm-hmm.
even some of the local TV stations that were less political have gotten on the bandwagon, and they're basically recycling the same news, like the one where they said that he was trying to get underage girls to work for him.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is that he just Tristan sent some chicks the message that they're beautiful. This is what got presented as trying to get them to work for them, right?
Uh-huh.
So they're taking the same news, old news, right? This was on the news years ago, and they're recycling it, and every single day they are finding a different thing to say negatively about them. And it's so painfully obvious. Like, I've talked to my dad, and I'm like, we're sitting drinking a beer, and I'm asking him one evening, like, what do you think about this? And he's
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know who this guy pissed off, but it's so obvious they're against him. Like, it's
Right.
you can see it from the fucking airplane.
Yeah. So apparently the schools are trying to like re-educate kids now, especially teenage boys, to like stop them from adopting his ideas, stuff that he's broadcasted. So I got this clip over here I think we should play and sort of touch on, because I don't know who this chick is, but basically, she's saying that teenage boys are generally idiots and teenage girls are really something to behold and brilliant. So let me just hit play here. Let me know if you guys can't hear it.
Because you wrote a piece on Spike this week about Andrew Tate and the reaction to Andrew Tate. And it got me thinking, because I was speaking to a...
Oh, come on. Freaking spinning wheel of death. Let's go, baby.
It's a StreamYard issue, isn't it?
I think it's a StreamYard issue. It usually happens only on StreamYard. I don't know what that is. Here, let me just hit refresh and see if it'll reload, and we'll try it one more time.
So teenage boys are going to listen to this chick? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, right.
Andrew Tate. And it got me thinking, because I was speaking to a teacher friend of mine who said that at his school, there was a decree that came down from the headmaster saying that the name must not be mentioned among the children because it will radicalize them into misogyny. Yeah. Is that the right way to deal with this? Apparently, according to your article, this is happening quite a lot in schools.
Yeah, well, there was this big article in the Times Education Supplement, which was all about how to instruct teachers how to deal with Andrew Tate and the influence of Andrew Tate. And one of the main things was calling for official CPD training for all schools to be able to deal with Andrew Tate. So number one, truth that was forever thus is that 13-year-old boys, which is sort of the main kind of age category that finds him interesting, are generally idiots. I mean, they're like in the nicest way possible. Yeah, they're very immature. They, pick up on stuff. They get obsessed. There's a reason why so many of them are obsessed with gaming and things like that. They get obsessed with things.
You're sort of arguing, and correct me if I'm wrong, that a victim-centered feminism, or a feminism that says, yes, women are weaker and need more protection, that's the wrong way to go about this.
Yeah, it's because, well, number one, it's just not true. There is nothing more terrifying and brilliant than a teenage girl. I mean, really, they're something to behold. And obviously...
And they wonder why boys like Tate, right?
She's
Teenage
never
boys
hung-
are idiots.
She's
but
never been a
girls are
teenager, or
brilliant.
did she just skip that decade?
I don't know.
Teenagers in general, yeah, most of them are idiots, but I don't think
mean,
that's
yeah,
the right thing to call them. They're just kind of
He's now accused of
they haven't
various
committed themselves yet.
Yeah.
things which will.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. Let me just hit refresh one more time. Hopefully we can get through to the end.
To Andrew Tate, and it got me
CPD training. All you need is a teacher with a confidence sense of who he really might be, and so I think that he should be talked about in schools. But you don't need CPD training. All you need is a teacher with the confidence to say, "What about this loser interests you? And do you know what about him? Do you think is going to make you successful?" And just have a conversation in reality, rather than write 7 articles about how terrifying he is and, want to. It's also not a kind of coincidence, I think, that this whole panic is happening at the same time that, for example, lots of politicians are going absolutely mental about the online safety bill at the moment. And there's a snowballing effect of young people are being brainwashed by people online. Really, all we have to do is pull the plug and give them a bit of a kick intellectually and maybe physically and say, get interested in something real.
Because you wrote a piece on.
Wow. Imagine you're a teacher in the United Kingdom. I don't know what they would pay them. Probably 35, 45,000 pound a year. I don't know. Where's 50? Maybe he'll pop in soon and we can ask him. But imagine standing there and going, "Why are you listening to this loser?"
From an overweight,
it's so interesting how
dumpy, low-income teacher. Because I realized when I was a kid, most of my teachers were losers. My bad. Go ahead, Mom.
No, she's sitting here saying like, "Oh, let's have a real conversation. Let's have an honest conversation." She prefaces it by "this loser." It's like, what the fuck is that? It's like, hey, why are you listening to this idiot? Oh, that's not. I mean, it's just everything is just so ass backwards with this entire thing. I mean, when you want to talk about what's going on over here with global elites flying to a sex island and not a single one of them ever seeing the inside of a jail cell or a courtroom. When you want to talk about the brainwashing of young children, when we're seeing all of these rainbow warriors, meanwhile you have 2 men that were sex trafficking 2 boys aged, I think, under 11 years old. Not only for their own personal use, yes, not only for their own personal use, so to speak, but also pimping them out to other neighbors. I mean, and this is what we choose to demonize, and this is what we're focused on. I mean, the entire world is just backwards, and I want it to burn.
I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here, and pin down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.